And, right, it's after the and. 3, 1, 2, 4, yeah, 4. I guess. I'm not good with counting or numbers, like we're literally not good. Karen? Okay, let's not do roll into dark. Let's not do it. And we're gonna, for Yivarech, how we're gonna do the whole thing once in Hebrew, and then we're gonna split. You're gonna do Hebrew, I'll do the English, and God help us.
Water's coming. All right.
Okay. All right.
How
16 months.
So you're in the thick of it.
Yeah. First time toddlers, exactly as easy as stepping on Legos.
How easy are these words?
Shabbat Shalom. We're going to keep welcoming each other and welcoming Shabbat in song. We're on page 10. The words mean how good it is to be together. This is a melody we like to sing on Sunday mornings here at Temple. And we know, the weather's not so great tonight, so some folks are still maybe delayed. But if any of our younger kids who maybe learned these songs with Rabbi Mike on Sunday, if you'd like to come join us on the Bima for our opening songs like kindergarten, first, second, maybe third grade, you guys can come up.
Welcome to come up. When do you get to come up on the Bima? This is pretty good. Hine matov umanayim shevet achi gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achi gam yachad. Every voice, hine matov. Hine matov umanayim shevet achi gam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achi gam yachad. what to do. How good it is. How sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is. How sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim tam yachad. Hine matov umanayim shevet achim tam yachad.
And we're going to stay on page 10, the next song, Maya Fehayom. While the weather might not be beautiful, how beautiful is Shabbat every week. We'll continue to sing.
Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom, Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom, Shabbat Shalom. We all sing Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Fehayom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. It is good to be together and to come in from the cold to welcome the first Shabbat of 2023. Of course, as Jews, we get to celebrate lots of different New Years, so Happy New Year again. Perhaps you're here because it is Shabbat and you're excited about that every week. Perhaps you're here because you're a Shorashim student and practicing Hebrew and getting to learn about Shabbat. Maybe you're here because it's been a hard week and you could use a little extra love and support. For whatever reason, we're glad you're here. A very special welcome to our guest musicians tonight, Yeko and Nick, although they are not new faces here, so welcome back, really. Thank you for adding, and we hope you'll add your voices as well. Welcome to those joining us on live stream from home. And we're just going to continue to sing a little bit as we kind of leave our week behind, enter into this very special time of Shabbat. We'll continue on page 24 with Shalom Aleichem. And you're going to hear that many of our prayers actually come from this week's Torah portion, Vayechi. And Vayechi mentions special angels or messengers that accompany us. And so Shalom Aleichem invites some special messengers of peace that come into our homes on Shabbat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharit, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Unil Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malachi Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Setem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Malachi HaMelachim HaKadosh
And we'll turn back to pages 2 and 3 as we bring in the light of Shabbat. It is an honor to invite Dan Weller, Lisa Fastberg Weller, and Sophie Weller. Sorry, I told your parents that, but just extending some extra light into the Weller home this week. And as we get ready, we're on page 2. We're going to welcome in the blessing as we bring in the light with some words of song.
Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. We light the lights of Shabbat. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. Le'adlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. May you have a restful day. Shabbat Shalom. May you have a peaceful day. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. We light the lights of Shabbat. Bring in the light, bring in the light, bring in the light of Shabbat. Le'adlik ner shel Shabbat.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat.
We'll turn now to page 20 for Lecha Dodi. If some of the Hebrew is new, try to follow along. Lai also works. And Lecha Dodi is picturing in our minds a bride. That Shabbat is like a bride or a queen, and we welcome her in with song, with dance if you want. And we'll join in just verses 1, 2, 5, and 9 on that last verse. If you're able, we'll rise, face the doors as we symbolically bring Shabbat in.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalla 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 Shabbat Lecha Dodi likrat kala yalla 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 Shabbat Shamor v'zachor b'dibbur echad Yishmi'anu el ha'meuchad Adonai echad u'shmo echad
ושם ותפארת ותהילה. לך דודי לקראת הלי 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 בשבת וקבלה. לך דודי לקראת הלי 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 בשבת וקבלה. לקראת שבת לכוון לך כי מקור הברכה בראש ניחדת נפוחה סוף מעשה במחשבתך. לך דודי לקראת הלי 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 בשבת וקבלה. לך דודי לקראת הלי 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 בשבת וקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלי תימח. לך דודי לקראת הלי 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 בשבת וקבלה. לך דודי לקראת הלי 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 בשבת וקבלה. בואי בשלום עצרת עליו גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני המסגולה. בואי חלם, בואי חלם. לך דודי לקראת הלי 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 בשבת וקבלה. דודי לקראת הלי 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 בשבת וקבלה. Every voice, yalalai, yalai, 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 lalai, yalai, 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 lalai, yalai, lalai, yalai, lalai. Yalai, lai, yalai, ai, ai, lai, 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 lai. Lecha dodi likrat hala, yalalai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, nekabel.
We'll remain standing on page 26 for Chatzi Kaddish, which will bring us into our call to prayer. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba be'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, vehimeru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'olam olam me'omaya, yitbarach, yitbarach, ve'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitale, v'yitalal, shemei dekudshah b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushvechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma, v'yimaru, amen. Page 28, we begin with English words that invite us to be awake and present for this moment of being called into prayer.
1, 2, 3.
listening to my prayer. Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Let's read together in the English on the top of page 31 our prayer for bringing on the evening, noticing as it gets dark out and thinking about the morning when it will be light again. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. As we prepare for Shema on page 34, and do you want to invite any third and fourth graders who might want to come up and help lead Shema? So as we get ready for Shema, guess what? There's a story, a midrash, based on this week's Torah portion. You can come up if you want. No, it's short. And some of you may have heard this before. Third and fourth graders, you can come up. So some of you may know that our ancestor Jacob was also called Israel. And Shema Yisrael, hear, O Israel. There's a midrash that when our ancestor Jacob was nearing the end of his life, which is this week's Torah portion called Vayechi, he was getting a little worried about what would happen next. So he called all of his children around him, his 12 children and his 2 grandsons, and he blessed each of them with a special blessing. And he was a little afraid as he was taking his last breaths. And in that moment, all of his children said really loudly, according to the Midrash, Shema Yisrael. Listen, Dad, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai is our God, Adonai Echad, Adonai is one. And in his last breath, Jacob whispered, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is glorious kingdom, God's glorious kingdom for now and forever. And that was his last breath. And every time when we say Shema, we are part of Jacob's family. We're part of the Jewish story. We are part of God's oneness when we too say Shema Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Right, please be seated. 5th and 6th graders, we need you to help us with Ve'ahavta. Come on up. We're going to continue to chant in the Hebrew on page 36. I see you. I know you know it. 6th graders too. Even 7th and 8th graders, you're welcome to come up too. Bring your siddur. Let's chant together. It's good practice. All right, we're going to chant, speaking of our of loving God with all of our heart and all of our body and all of our spirit. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen. We're going to continue on page 39. By the way, boys are allowed on the bima too. Just putting it out there. Page 39, let's join together in these words that lead us into Micha Mochar, our song of the sea. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Page 40. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נורא תהילו תוסף אלה, נורא תהילו תוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע מצבו של מרים, צאיליאנו ואמרו, צאיליאנו ואמרו. אדוני לא לעולם ועד, אדוני לא לעולם ועד. יא לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 ונאמר כי יפדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We'll continue on page 42 as we join in Hashkivenu, kind of like Jacob, who got a little scared in his older years. Some of us maybe feel a little bit afraid at night when it gets dark, and Hashkivenu is our prayer for making us feel like we are surrounded by peace and shelter and comfort, that we can have a good night's sleep, unless you've got, a baby at home like some of you, but you can only pray. So we hope for peaceful nights and new days ahead, and that God's Sukkot Shalom, God's shelter of peace, will be spread over us.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Shomrei Lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Shomrei Nu Lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Shomrei Nu Lechaim Ushmo Tzitenu Uvoenu Lechaim Shalom Be'ata Be'alolam Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Shomrei Nu Lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Shomrei Nu Lechaim Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Shomrei Nu Lechaim. And we add one more special prayer for Shabbat on page 44, Vishamru, as we celebrate the joy of Shabbat each week. And here at Temple Beth David especially, we celebrate with prayer and song and also food. So remember, tonight you get to eat, pray, and eat again. So I do want to just put it out there. We've had some last minute cancellations for dinner, weather, illness. So if you didn't sign up and if you're interested, we can probably accommodate you. So come talk to me at the end. And really, we've got room. So eat, pray, eat. Veshamru bnei Israel et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם מותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We We enter now into our tefillah, our central prayer, also called the Amidah. If you're able, please rise or rise in spirit. Page 46, we'll begin together in the Hebrew, blessing those who've come before us, and then we'll take a few moments to offer the prayers from our hearts. That could be in Hebrew, in English, in any language, even just whispering our prayers to God. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geulah Livnei V'nehem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah, atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim berofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memid u'mechayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Hachayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. We'll continue silently and come back together for the prayer for peace. Feel free to be seated when you are ready. Come back together on page 60. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Nasim le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom.
Shalom
Shalom Rabba Yisrael Amcha Nasim le'olam.
Shalom
Shalom Rabba Yisrael Amcha Nasim le'olam.
Letov
Beinecha mevarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה לשלומך. Shalom Rabba Yisrael Amcha Nasim le'olam. Shalom Rabba Yisrael Amcha Nasim le'olam. Nasim le'olam. Nasim And we add one more prayer to our service, a prayer for health and healing, especially this season. Lots of prayers for health needed. Page 253. We are especially thinking of these members of our community who are ill at this time as we pray for their strength and health. Colin Monroe, Enrico Mascaro, Benjamin Horowitz, Bradley Dichter, Mateo Goldman, Toby Weiner, Asya Rushavskaya, Eileen Arnone, Jean Sands, Roseanne Cohen, Tom Fiorino, Carolyn Weil, Stephen Driscoll, Jerry Spingarn, Caroline Spingarn, Beth Gottlieb, Kirby Druffel, Joseph Sands, Ruth Brofsky, Richard Slifka, Samantha Weiner. If there are other names that you are thinking of that we might also pray for them, you may share them out loud. Before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Amen. So I have a question. I'm wondering if anyone has a favorite blessing. So think about that for a minute. It could be your traditional Baruch Atah blessing, or blessed are you Adonai our God. You fill in the rest of the words. It could be maybe a more creative blessing that you're used to saying. Okay, we need some volunteers. And for those on live stream, I'll repeat it. Favorite blessing that you like to say, or maybe just a blessing you even like to hear. Brenda. The Shehechianu blessing, great. Blessing for all firsts, for first days of holidays, children born, times you get new clothes. So Shehechianu, our blessing for saying thank you for good times. Great. Other favorite blessings? I know you've got one, Cynthia. The first time you go swimming in the summer, you say Shehechianu. Great. Other favorite blessings, Meredith? A special preamble to the Hamotzi. Do you want to share what that is? Our voices join in a song together as our joyful prayer is said. Good, then going into Baruch Atah. Great, we're going to do that at the end of the service. I'm going to hold the Hebrew. But yes, some English introduction into the Motzi blessing. By the way, probably a favorite for many of you because Motzi means you get to eat, right? Zoe, do you have a favorite blessing? Matovu. Good, so Matovu is a prayer welcoming us into our sanctuary. That's one of mine too. Any other favorite blessings? Doesn't have to be favorite. It could be a blessing that you like. Margot. Do you want your mom to say it? Shema, yes, that is a nice one. All right. Oh, Gary, favorite blessing or blessing you like? Well, Gary, I didn't even plant this with you, but Gary mentioned the threefold blessing, the priestly blessing. So guess what? We've already talked about angels that come from this week's Torah portion, Vayechi. We've talked about Jacob and Israel blessing his children and his children kind of blessing him with Shema. The third part of our Torah portion that we still use today is a kind of introduction to the priestly blessing. So the actual words come from Numbers. That will be later in the year, but an introduction. So on Shabbat, you all know we have so many extra special blessings, right? We say every day, or we at least try to say 100 blessings a day, but on Shabbat, it's even easier because we've got all the Shabbat blessings like Kiddush over wine and Motzi and all of our prayers. So on Shabbat, we add a special blessing, the threefold blessing that is traditionally said around the Shabbat dinner table. So since we have a dinner tonight, but I thought it's going to be a little easier to say it in here together, we're going to see how dinner goes if we have time to add other blessings, but we're going to actually go ahead and add the priestly blessing now. And traditionally, if you have children present, you also use these words to bless your children. So here's the reference to this week's Torah portion. So in this week's Torah portion, as I mentioned, Jacob blesses all of his children and grandchildren. And he blesses each of them with an individual message. And let's just say all of his children were not always easy. So these were kind of tough love blessings. They were like good and bad, but it was all blessing. And then Joseph gave a special blessing, or Jacob, to his grandsons, Joseph's sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. And I'm going to show you how he did it. So Manasseh was the older son, and Ephraim was the younger son. And back in those times, the older kind of was on the right. I know I'm sort of opposite of you, but this is my right. So Jacob had Manasseh on his right, Ephraim on his left. And when he blessed them, he said, Yisimcha Elohim ke Ephraim v'chi Menashe. And he reversed his hand. So Ephraim, the younger, was first. Menashe was second. Why did he do that? And why? So these are the words that introduce the priestly blessing. We're going to do this in a minute. I'm going to get to the girls in just a moment because they came later. But so Ephraim and Manasseh, Joseph's sons, if you think about it, our tradition says they were the first siblings in the Torah that didn't fight. Okay, think about all the siblings in the Torah. They all fought. But Ephraim and Manasseh didn't. And Jacob thought that with switching his hands, they got along so well that Manasseh wouldn't even care. They weren't jealous of each other. So they became the model of our blessing for children, a model of being in a home with love and friendship and mutual respect. Later on, we add an introduction for the girls. Yisimech Elohim Kesara Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May you be like Rachel, Sarah, Rachel, Rebecca, and Leah. And then we say the words, may God bless you and keep you. So I actually didn't even look. Are these words in our Siddur? They might be. Oh yeah, that would have been good. Do we have the words? Okay, so some of you may recognize this actually from our High Holy Days because we do it. And this is a special blessing added for Shabbat. If you do have children with you, you're welcome to place your hands on their heads or shoulders. I'll leave it to you if you want to reverse your hands or not. We'll try to give you the words because I'm not finding it. All right. So first we'll begin, again, boys, girls, and the last one's for anyone, any gender. So here we go. Yisimcha Elohim ke'Ephraim v'chi Menashe. May God make you like Ephraim and Menashe. Yisimech Elohim ke'Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May God make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And by the way, even if you don't have kids near you, you can put your hands around someone you like or you love or on yourself. And we're going to extend this special Shabbat blessing to each other. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha V'yasem lecha shalom. V'yasem lecha shalom. So shalom is giving each other peace. We'll add some English. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you. May God keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of the Holy One shine on you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha.
Lifted up
V'yasem lecha shalom. V'yasem lecha
precious gift
shalom. V'yasem lecha shalom. V'yasem lecha shalom. So you can add those words around your Shabbat dinner table. And because we have now arrived at the very end of the first book of Torah, the book of Genesis, again, it ends with Vayechi, all these blessings. Vayechi means to live. And even though Jacob died, it was about him giving life to the next generation. So we get to say 3 Hebrew words when we finish a book of Torah. Well, there are actually 2 Hebrew words, but one repeats. And in case we're feeling a little sad that we leave Genesis for now, we say the words chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Be strong, and let us be strengthened. Because guess what? We get to move into Exodus next Shabbat, and Genesis is going to come back in a year. So please join me in those words. Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. be strong, and let us be strengthened. We've got one more blessing to add, and then we're going to conclude. Is anyone celebrating a birthday this cold month of January? Do we have any January All right, we do a special birthday blessing, so come on up if you've got a January birthday. Oh, we do have a few. You get to come right up here to the ark. Okay, seriously, as I said, boys are allowed on the bima. All right, since there's 4 of you, tell us the date of your birthday.
January 19th.
January 9th.
January 25th.
January 31st.
Wow, all right, you've got a little time. Well, thank you for celebrating here with our Temple Beth David community. We're going to offer you a little word of blessing. Oh God, our times are in your hand. We thank you for the blessing of life, for the blessing of another year. We thank you for health and happiness, joy, and sacred community. May God bless you with continued years, continued health, and continued celebration. We're going to join in that Shehechianu blessing for good times. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh, which means, blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign in the universe, who has given you life, sustained you, and brought you to another year of life. Mazel tov. Yom Huledet Sameach. Happy birthday. And just a couple announcements before we conclude. Tomorrow morning, our Leilad Minyan will continue Shabbat at 9 a.m. here and on Zoom. We also have Taught Shabbat morning for young children, 9:30 a.m. in our Beit Simcha and on the playground, because I think the weather is supposed to be better. So those of you with kids or without kids, you can come back in the morning. Please read your weekly shofar email for all other information. We've got adult learning coming up. We're basically resuming our full schedule again. Shorashim Hebrew next week, and sisterhood, brotherhood programs, speakers, Shabbat, lots going on in January. So again, I'm going to hold off on dinner. Let's move into our concluding prayers. Again, we definitely have room if others would like to stay. We're going to, for now, move into Aleinu L'Shabeach and Kaddish, page 282. Once again, if you're able, we rise. We're going to open our ark. Some of you were asking what's behind the curtain. So. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, l'atei gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We're going to remain standing if you are able as we take a moment to remember loved ones who are no longer with us, and taking note, several deaths in our community this week as well. We are especially remembering Gloria Weller, who died this week, mother of Dan Weller, mother-in-law of Lisa Fastberg Weller, and grandmother of Sophie. We extend our condolences to your family. And we are remembering these loved ones whose yahrzeit, whose anniversary of death occurred this week. Helen Beanstalk, Leon Blumberg, Eva Finkelstein, Roberta Frank, Nathan Greenberg, Etta Jacobs, Margaret Katzen, Bethann Ruth Lustig, Jack Malitsky, Elaine Miller, Henry Molliver, Robert Neinstein, Richard Norse, Helen Obsler, Dave Rausch, Frances Esther Reich, Esther Silverman, Benjamin Wang, Stanley Watsky, Paul Zindwer. If there are other loved ones whom you are remembering, you may share their names with us. We join on page 294 as we bless the source of all life and bless the light that continues to shine in their memory. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael Ba'agala uvizman kariv ve'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam ulamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma ve'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing, and our community is also holding Brett Hausler, our Director of Operations, in our hearts as he lost his father-in-law this week, and that funeral will be on Sunday, followed by Shiva. Let's see. I'm going to invite you to be seated for a moment. We're going to go ahead and say our blessings, the rest of our Shabbat blessings in here. Again, we may add a little bit for dinner. A couple important instructions before our blessings and concluding songs. If you're not staying for dinner, guess what? There's some oneg for you in the hallway. But if you are staying for dinner, don't take those cookies. Okay, got it? So cookies out there are for those not staying for dinner. For those who are staying for dinner, don't worry. There's plenty of cookies in the social hall. So during our concluding song, I'm actually going to invite families with younger children to head out first. So we're going to just say, like, if you've got 4th grade and younger, everyone else is just going to keep singing a little bit just to get in line first. Not yet, but so those staying for dinner will make our way in. Once everyone is seated, we might do some more blessing and singing. Again, if you didn't sign up because of weather and illness, we've had some cancellations, so just come see me. We can probably accommodate you. All right, we're going to join on page 5, the blessing of Kiddush. Would any of our 8th graders, recent B'nai Mitzvah, like to come join me? I know you guys know it. All right, we'll give you a pass. All right. Sorry. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu. I can just go over there. V'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon yinchilanu zikaron lemase v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim Kivanu v'acharta Ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch ata Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat L'chaim. All right, so it is our custom that any kids who have not yet become bar bat mitzvah, you can come up for motzi. We'll even start with the English. Anyone who's not yet become bar bat mitzvah, you can come on up. If you need a parent to carry you, they can. All right, we're going to say motzi. Come on up. You guys get to come behind. Okay, ready, guys? All right, so one other just important announcement. You want to hear this. So also if you're here with kids, I forgot to mention, we're trying something a little different. You're going to find on the table your last name. So we just so you don't get separated. So if you're not here with kids and you're staying for dinner, sit wherever you want at a table that doesn't have names. If you are here with kids, find your names and you're going to meet a new family. And this way you won't get separated. Also, anyone needing a little more time for dinner, please go first. Just want to acknowledge founding members of Temple Beth David, Cynthia and Harvey Atkins, who are here with us. Truly generational tonight. Let us bless. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said.
Baruch atah Adonai Elohim melech haolam Hotzi lechem na'aretz Shabbat Shalom.
All right, Rabbi Micah, Yeko, and Nick are going to take it away with our concluding song.
Ose shalom yikomav Uyase shalom aleim Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel Ve'imru Amen. Ose shalom Roma. Ve'ato Yisrael Ve'ato Yoshvei Tevel
So those of you with younger kids, anyone needing a little extra time for dinner, we want to invite you to head to the Rosen Social Hall.
Shalom, Ose Shalom, Yiromam, Uyas Shalom
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you to our ushers and greeters as well. Thank you. And everyone helping with dinner. You are welcome to head into dinner or to our oneg. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'yilu Ose Shalom Yiroma Wasn't sure we were done. I think there, yeah. That was awesome. Thank you, guys. You don't keep the Torah. That's.
Thank you.
Use it the next time you come back.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.